Welcome back, college football fans! Week 7 is upon us. Last week was tough on everybody. A lot of unexpected results. Hard to believe that 4 of the top 11 teams lost. While the losses are tough on college teams' playoff runs, they are just part of the journey for us sports investors. Last week was not profitable. But as we say, it is not about any individual result, it's about the full portfolio's performance. We are still up nearly 3 units on the year, so we'll keep chugging along and get back to winning ways. In this video, I will talk about 4 of my favorite plays this week. These picks are free if you want to get all of my premium college football picks, between 7 and 9 per week usually. Visit mjpicks.com and sign up or use the link below. You can get one sport or all sports as low as $21 per week. We are on a hot streak with premium picks going 14-4 in the last few days, with the MLB playoffs and the start of the NHL season. Get on board now! Don't miss your chance at winning with us. Going undefeated in college football will become harder and harder, as Neil and the recent judgment on compensating players will assuredly cause more parity among the top programs. Each week, more undefeated teams fall, making the second half of the season even more interesting. There are only 12 teams left in the undefeated ranks. 4 of them are in the Big Ten. So let's start there. The number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State travels out west to face USC. The Trojans are coming off a tough loss to a Minnesota team that really had a low bar entering the season. USC coach Lincoln Riley tends to do this every year, wherever he is at. Get his fans' hopes up, then dashes their dreams. Their playoffs hopes are dwindling, and I think they will be desperate for a win this weekend to keep them alive. However, I would say it's not looking good. Penn State comes into town and has a distinct advantage on both lines of scrimmage. Most notably, their defensive line has been brutal the last few games. D-line star Abdul Carter will be playing on Sundays eventually. He looks to cause damage this weekend. USC's offensive line is in for a big challenge against a defense that has not allowed more than 11 points in their last 3 games. And that's really misleading since last week UCLA got a garbage touchdown with 16 seconds left. So basically, the Penn State defense has allowed 13 points in the last 14 quarters. Wow! I expect the Nittany Lions to pound the ball and body blow the Trojans into even more desperate decisions. While I like USC quarterback Miller Moss, I think he and the Trojans might be in trouble here. Their path to keeping it close is to get out early and try and get Penn State into a shootout. I don't think Penn State will oblige. If you think USC can win this game, then you probably would do better taking them at plus 1,000 odds to make the playoffs. I do not think they will win. I see this 34-13 Penn State. Therefore, my official pick is Penn State minus 5. Next game up, number 18, Kansas State at Colorado, for my second college football prediction, slated for the late night on Saturday. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Colorado Buffaloes. Okay, got that in for the search engines. Now to the game. I'm not really sure what is going to happen as far as the sides are concerned. I can see what looks like on paper the more complete team in the top 25, Wildcats handling business and putting the Buffaloes back in the loss column. I can also see Colorado at home repeating their performance from last week and putting it on a potentially underperforming Kansas State team. It is always troubling to see a home team get more than a field goal, even though this one might be deserved. Home dogs usually pay well. I just don't have a good feel for the score. Colorado can score, and even when they can't, they continue to throw the ball and attempt to keep padding stats. which means that Kansas State is going to have to score as well. Their team total line is at 30.5, which is tempting to take the over since we're on the right side of the key 31 number. Kansas State has gone over this number all 4 of its wins. Tempting, but no. Sometimes the Kansas State offense looks like it's in mud. Other times, like last week, 40 points is a cakewalk. Meanwhile, Colorado's team total is 25.5. Also tempting to take the over since they've eclipsed this number in all but one game. I just don't really have a good feel on how the team's scoring will go. I'm even tempted to take the full game over at 56. I just can't make myself do it. One thing I do feel confident about is Colorado's defense. Well, more specifically, Colorado's defense ability to let a mobile quarterback run all over them. In the 3 games they've seen a quarterback that can move, they have allowed 81, 82, and 76 yards in scrambles and design runs, at over 5 yards a carry. That's including sack yards. Remember, in college, a quarterback sack is scored as a negative rushing attempt for the QB, so beware. However, with Avery Johnson at the helm for Kansas State, he moves around a lot and is averaging over 7 yards an attempt. The rushing yards prop for Johnson is at 63.5 yards. I think that is way underestimated and should be well over 70. So tread at your own risk on the overs for the teams, but float home easy on the over 63.5 rushing yards for Kansas State's Avery Johnson. Bonus time! Each week I like to pick a few underdogs and throw a partial unit on them. Last week we hit with Syracuse and Texas Tech to help mop up some of the other losses. Let's see if we can pick up a few bones on this unofficial play. Cincinnati to beat UCF at plus 140 odds or 2.40 in decimal format. I think the last 2 weeks have shown us what UCF really is. Not as good as we initially thought. This week a hurricane ripped through Central Florida and I think the Bearcats will too. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button for the video and subscribe to the channel to receive all of my sports betting tips on all sports. Football, hockey, basketball, and even horse racing. Okay, back with our plays. Let's move on to my 3rd NCAA football betting tip. There are a few things in life that you can count on. Debt, taxes, and first half unders for Georgia Bulldog games. This almost feels like something we go for each week as an auto bet. So we're going to go back to the well and drink again. Give me the first half under 30 in Mississippi State versus Georgia. I don't think there's a lot to analyze here, it's just go with the trend. Last week, Georgia's run game seemed to take stride. Running back Trevor Etienne looked pretty good, really the first time all year. His season has had ups and downs so far, but against Auburn, he seemed to run with purpose and pound out some tough yards. Georgia's formula last week was to give body shots to Auburn by cramming the ball down their throats at a slow and steady pace, and rely on Carson Beck to throw when necessary. Then turn around and play smothering defense. Dear Kirby Smart, please do the same thing this week. Sincerely, Professor MJ. If Mississippi State is smart, and that's a big if, they will realize the only chance they have in this ball game is to limit the possessions and play at a slow pace themselves. They should try and keep it within one score and hope to have a chance at the end. It's likely that they will employ the same strategy they have in other games, 8 to 10 play drives that result in field goals. The old bad team mantra, 3 not 7. This will literally be a bulldog fight, one that I think the bigger dogs will beat down their foes in the hot Georgia sun. I see Georgia winning something like 31-13, same script as last week, so I think the game total at 55 is too high. However, I am going to opt for all reliable and go with the first half under 30 in the Bulldogs versus Bulldogs battle. Now for the biggest game of the week, number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Oregon. One of these two undefeated teams will fall. This is essentially what amounts to the Big Ten championship, or at least round 1. It is highly possible this is the matchup we see in December. I like one of the sides a lot in this round 1. One of these teams has struggled in each game, while the other just goes out and takes care of business. I believe the Ohio State Buckeyes are the best team in the land. They were my pick to win the Big Ten in our preseason futures package, and I believe they will win this game. I like the Buckeyes laying the points, so give me Ohio State -3 in Eugene. So many talented players on Ohio State, the nation's most expensive roster, make it very difficult for any other team to match up against. They have been running roughshod through their schedule so far. Their high-powered offense averages over 47 points a game and ranks among the tops in all of FBS. Oregon's defense has been just average against the run so far. So Buckeye running backs Judkins and Henderson, which could be the best tandem in the nation, are salivating at the opportunity to hit the field. Definitely worth a look at both of their over props on rushing yards. Then, once Ohio State establishes the run, look out for underrated Will Howard to connect with possibly the best receiving tandem in the nation of Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka. Oregon has talent as well. This game is a home game for them, so they get a slight bump for that. On a neutral field, I would have this game more like -8 or -9 for Ohio State. So I don't think the home field advantage is a full 6-point difference. Maybe more like 2 or 3. I think there's just too many horses from Columbus here. I really like giving the 3 points, and the math changes a bit if you have to go to -3.5 or 4. I would still do it, but definitely like it at 3 better. So there's your final free pick for the week, Ohio State -3 at Oregon. If you want more great picks for college football going all the way up until kickoff, join the Professor MJ community and sign up for premium picks at mjpicks.com for as low as $21. You can expect to receive between 5 and 10 college football premium picks every week. Join the smart sports investors and increase your bankroll with us.